The Art 2, 3, 4, and Studio Art classes visited the Legion of Honor Museum, an art museum located in San Francisco, on Tuesday, January 16. After the art students met at MBHS at 7:30 a.m., art teacher Jay Shelton took attendance and embarked on the bus with the students to the museum. Founded in 1924 by Adolph B. and Alma de Bretteville Spreckels, the museum was constructed to memorialize California veterans who had died in World War I. The founders were inspired by the French museum in Paris, Musée de la Légion d'honneur, and saw it fitting to draw architectural inspiration from it.
Yeah, there's a lot of history, They do have a book, which is called the Golden Book, which has all the names of all the soldiers that died. And once a year, around Veterans Day, in November, they put out the book. They turn a page every year, and they usually have display here.
In addition to the Book of Gold exhibition, Toronto says that the museum typically has other special exhibitions going on. This time around, it was Botticelli's drawings, made by Renaissance artist Sandro Botticelli, his assistants, and pupils.
Even though it was made so long ago, some of the techniques and the way he draws things are very similar to how we do them today, and I think it's quite fascinating to see how, despite being so long ago, some of these things just don't change.
Having attended the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art with the art class last year, Chen says that this trip has been similar, but slightly more formal due to the special exhibition having a limited viewing time.
I think an art museum is pretty standard for the art class. I've actually never heard of this museum before, so it's really cool to come here. I especially like the Botticelli sketches. I like them more than the actual finished paintings because it was fun to see how, master painters, their process and how they work towards the finished result.
Jo has visited museums such as the Louvre and the Getty Museum before, and she says that visiting the Legion of Honor Museum was just as enriching an experience as the others. Chen adds that the museum shines a light onto lesser-known styles of art and broadens the students' perspective on art itself.
Well, obviously they look a lot different, and they look like what you'd expect when you think art, right? You think oil paintings and marble sculptures. I think right now, art students have a general tendency to think of those things as just old, right? And we're doing something different now, but I think it's important that we learn about these more traditional methods as well.
The museum features a few gift shops with the Legion of Honor Museum merchandise and items such as socks, puzzles, and postcards. Some students purchased items to take a piece of this experience with them as a souvenir. Apart from the art pieces, the museum also has a cafe that Chen and other students visited to explore an assortment of options.
After the exhibition, I went with a couple of friends to the cafe, and then Mr. Shelton ended up buying the group a pecan tart and a creme brulee, so that was great.
After several hours of viewing different pieces and exhibitions, the art students exited the museum to eat lunch outside and take in the view. The exterior of the museum displays ancient European-style architecture and has statues such as the Thinker and El Cid and a fountain around it. Afterward, they got back on the bus to return to school by 2:30 p.m. Reflecting on this experience, Jo says that observing professional artists' drawings and paintings was valuable.
I think when you study people masters, it's definitely a process of learning. If you don't look at the people who are experienced and just focus on your training your art yourself, of course that's gonna help. I think seeing how other people work things are, it's a new perspective, and especially for the sketches, you're able to see how these masters work through their paintings, and that's not something you typically see from the finished results. So I think that's great.
Throughout his 25 years on the museum's security guard staff, Toronto says that his job entails protecting the art and making visitors' experiences worthwhile.
Well, it's depending what kind, they're art lovers. Everybody has a different style. This is mostly a European art. We have Indian art. And when people come and visit, I hope they make the best of it, and I hope they come back.